All right, we just wrapped up the Sunday night game, and what a wild Sunday in week 4 of the NFL. The year of the underdog continues. We finally saw some scoring, but I'm just going to go through, break down everything I saw from every game today. Let's just get right into it. Okay, Saints and the Falcons. Falcons walk off a winner as Young Wei Koo bangs a 58-yarder to take home the dub for the Falcons. This was an ugly game. Again, another lackluster performance from the Saints offense. Derek Carr, 239, no touchdowns and a pick. This offense really runs through Taysom Hill. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. They seem to be able to move the ball no problem when he's in. He went down with an injury after scoring 2 touchdowns, and they kind of struggled most of this game. It felt like after he went down, Alvin Kamara had an okay day. Chris Olave is getting back into the thing, and Rashid Shaheed is like hit or miss. A lot of yards, not a whole lot of points. Falcons also not much offensively. They scored on defense. They scored on special teams. Kirk Cousins, pretty much the same line as Carr, 238 and a pick, so they're basically equal. No running whatsoever. Bijan, 7 for 28. Tyler Algier, 8 for 60. That's okay. Kyle Pitts gets shut out with a 0. Falcons, the NFC South is the NFC South. It's a good win for the Falcons. The hype on the Saints got to come back down to earth. They've lost 2 in a row now. But yeah, I just kind of hate this division. Okay, Bears take down a beat-up Rams group. This was probably the worst game of the day. It was just ugly, bad football for most of it. The Rams are just completely outmanned. No Puka Nacua, no Cooper Kupp. They're missing like the entire offensive line. Matt Stafford is running for his life. No touchdowns and a pick for him today. Kyron Williams, another solid day on the ground, 94 and a touchdown. But it's just, they're so outmanned, so outmatched. And the Bears offense was a little bit better today. They actually ran the ball. DeAndre Swift, 93 yards and a touchdown. Roshan Johnson with a touchdown. They ran the ball for 28 and 131. This is a team that couldn't run the football. They managed to run it against this Rams defense. Kind of pathetic. Again, DeAndre Swift led the team in receiving. Caleb Williams, a $157 and a touchdown. No turnovers. That's probably the big thing for them. This offense isn't great. It's getting a little bit better. Defense is good against a completely outmanned team. But the Bears are 500. Can't really complain if you're a Bears fan. Rams, the season from hell continues. All right, the big upset special. Colts take down the undefeated Steelers 27-24. And I'm surprised Pittsburgh actually scored 24 points in this game. I know how bad the Colts defense has been this year, but the offense looked pretty good. They were struggling in the first half, 3 points in the first half, but they really came on in the second half. Justin Fields threw for 312, had 2 rushing touchdowns, 55 yards, looking fast out there. This was a really positive game offensively if you're a Steelers fan, but they couldn't get it done. The defense kind of running out of gas, maybe. I think the biggest thing is Anthony Richardson gets hurt again. I was all over, do not trust Anthony Richardson. I don't think he's very good. Plus, he gets injured. In comes Joe Flacco, and the Colts offense lights it up, man. Jonathan Taylor, another really good day on the ground against an elite defense. But Michael Pittman, over 100 yards. Josh Downs back with 82 and a touchdown. This is the kind of offense we thought we were going to see with Richardson. Maybe the Colts want Richardson to be hurt. It sounds like he's going to be okay. But this is a much better offense with Joe Flacco. And the defense is bad, but you can win games if you can score points. And that's what they've been missing through the first 3 weeks of the season. So big win for the Colts. Maybe we got another changing of the guard here. Maybe you just trade Anthony Richardson. Maybe somebody will take the bait because I'm not buying him whatsoever. Okay, this might have been the ugliest game of the day. When everybody else was moving the football and scoring points, the Broncos and the Jets played the most pathetic offensive game since 1947 or something like that, I'm sure. 60 yards passing for Bo Nix. He had -7 yards in the first half passing. And they won the game. 12 for 25. They won the game 10-9 because the Jets are always going to jet it up. This Jets offense is abysmal. Nat Hackett is the worst play caller in the NFL. We said this last year. We said this the year before when he was the head coach at Denver. It's so bad. It's so basic. Where's Breece Hall? 10 carries for 4 yards. Braylon Allen gets 8 for 34. They couldn't run the ball at all. Rodgers doesn't look like he loves taking hits. The offense is simple. It's quick reads. It's check downs. And if you cover those quick reads and check downs, it can't do anything. Jets defense was fine, I guess, but they gave up the touchdown to a guy who threw for 60 yards passing. They couldn't get the stop when they needed. Jets had a shot to get closer for the game-winning field goal. They don't Greg Zuerlein misses a 50-yarder. This was just bad football. Both these teams are bad. They're not good whatsoever. The Broncos defense figuring out a way to stop the run the last 2 weeks is a positive sign. But God, this is just awful. I mean, my eyes hurt watching this game. I apologize if you actually sat through all 60 minutes of this thing. All right, look at my Vikings 4-0. This was a wild game. Vikings jump out to a 28-0 lead. They muff a punt right before the end of the half. Packers get on the board, and then the Packers outscore the Vikings 22-3 in the fourth quarter to make it a 31-29 win for the Vikings. Jordan Love coming back from injury, that's a positive sign. He was definitely slow for the first half, didn't look comfortable really at all. Took him a while to get into the game. 4 touchdowns, but he wore a Brett Favre jersey coming into the game, and he played like Brett Favre. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, including a terrible pick in a 1-score game with 6 minutes and 3 timeouts left. No reason to do that. Sam Darnold, strong day, 3 touchdowns again for him. Threw a bad pick in the second half, had a fumble, but that wasn't really his fault. Blindside block. Aaron Jones, 93 yards in his return, solid. JJ, best receiver in the league. Jordan Addison has 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 1 on the air in his return. So yeah, really strong performance from the Vikings. Somehow I think they're the best team in the NFC, but I'm positive I'm a Packers fan. This isn't a bad loss. It sucks that you got punched in the mouth, but it's good that you came back. Jordan Love coming back. He's going to get better. I think this is a good Packers team. I think very highly of the Packers after this game, but the defense, you got to get figured out a little bit. Okay, Buccaneers take down the Eagles, and man, Nick Sirianni definitely got to be up there as one of the first head coaches getting fired because he's just bad, man. He doesn't know what he's doing. They can't hold on to the football. Jalen Hurts with another turnover, gets strip sacked. Again, 18 for 30. Now they're missing their top 2 wide receivers. That's a tough ask of anybody. You got to go with Goddard and Saquon. Saquon has a good day on the ground. But they couldn't even move the football in the first quarter. I mean, there was a point in this game, I think Tampa Bay was outgaining them like 250 to nothing in yards. I mean, just awful all-around performance for the Eagles. There was a moment there where it looked like they were potentially coming back, and then the strip sack on Hurts. Like I said, you need your receivers back. You need A.J. Brown. You need Devonta Smith back to see where it's going. But I just think this is a really poorly coached team. They're not comfortable running the football in those tight quarters with like the tush push anymore. The play calling is weird with Kellen Moore, Sirianni. I don't know what's going on. Buccaneers, on the other hand, big bounce back game. Played awful against Tampa or against Denver. Looked good again this week. Baker, when you doubt him, plays good. Awful secondary. Carves him up 347. 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball effectively. Baker had a touchdown on the ground. Split carries, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, 49-49. You love to see that. Mike Evans, welcome back, 94 and a touchdown. Chris Godwin, another solid day for them. And the defense was better. The defense is like, it's kind of hit or miss. They can't stop the run really, but they can cover people this year. It's pretty much the exact opposite of last year. So I think Tampa Bay's feisty. I think Tampa Bay's got a real shot to win the NFC South. And I think Philly is just like, man, the NFC East is bad. That team is poorly coached. Yeah, I don't know what to think with the Eagles. Okay, the Bengals get on the board with a win, 34-24, and it felt like they were in control for most of this game. Carolina definitely had some moments. My man Chuba Hubbard never gave up on him. 104 and a touchdown for him. Andy Dalton was fine. 25 of 40, 220, 2 touchdowns and a pick. That's fine. You'll be happy if you can get that most weeks if you're a Panthers fan. That we know the defense isn't good. It's been one of the worst defenses in football. They played a terrible offense. Deontay Johnson, you brought him in here for that. Xavier Leggett gets into the end zone finally. I mean, this was just like a must-win game for the Bengals. We know the Panthers probably weren't going to show much after getting a win last week against Vegas. Burrow was fine, 232, 2 touchdowns. The Bengals defense is bad. It's really bad. This team can't make the playoffs or do anything. They're not a real Super Bowl threat. Offense is good. Chase, another good day. Higgins back in the mix again, 60 yards there. I mean, they ran the ball well. I think that's the biggest sign. They've run the ball pretty well the last 2 weeks. I know they aren't playing good defenses, but this is what you want to see, more balance with the Bengals offense. But yeah, I'm not happy if I'm a Bengals fan for the future of this season. Okay, now maybe actually the real first head coach to get fired, Doug Peterson in Jacksonville, 0-4. They were in control, it felt like, most of this game. They took the lead in the third quarter and just, I don't know, man. It's just so bad. Trevor Lawrence is overthrowing everybody. He's missing wide open touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr. had a good day. Christian Kirk had a good day. Travis Etienne, whereabouts unknown. I mean, 11 for 50, 4.5 a carry. Now he's nursing his shoulder injury, apparently. It hasn't been good for them. Tank Bigsby's nice, though. That's good to have two running backs. Defense isn't great. I'm more disappointed with Houston. They need to do a better job. Had to score the last touchdown inside of a minute to win this game. They won the game, but it's just like, it feels like there's no dog on this team. Like killer instinct. They had this edge last year. Everything's kind of ugly. They play sloppy and muddy. CJ Stroud had a great day, 345 and 2 touchdowns. No running. I mean, you're missing your top 2 running backs, so they can't really run the ball. Nico Collins, everybody was talking about Diggs and Dell and this and that. Dell didn't play today, but Nico Collins has been the guy. I've been calling it, saying it all last year, all off season. Nico is a true number 1 wide receiver. He is a dog out there. Yeah, Houston kind of pisses me off the way they play. I want to see more from them. I had potential Super Bowl team for them, but I don't know, man. They're 3-1. They got beat by a good team on the road at a conference, so you're where you want to be if you're a Texans fan. They just leave me wanting more, though, week in and week out. Hey, yo, don't look now, but the Washington Commanders are first in the NFC East. Amazing what 6 days can do for a squad, a team, an entire franchise. Man, Jaden Daniels has been awesome. Highest completion percentage through his first 4 games in the NFL. In fact, it's like the highest completion percentage through any 4 games for any quarterback throughout their career with like 100 passing attempts. Another solid day. Even his interception wasn't bad. He was trying to get the ball up the seam to McLaurin. He just missed the throw. He just kind of overthrew him on that one. Great game on the ground. Revenge game for Cliff Kingsbury coming back to the team that fired him as the head coach. Hangs a 42-burger. Brian Robinson with 100 yards. Jeremy McNichols with 2 touchdowns, 68 on the ground. Jaden Daniels even 8 for 47. And we want Daniels to cut down on the running, cut down on the hits. I saw him actually slide a couple times. That was awesome. And Dan Quinn's defense shut down what I thought was a good Cardinals offense. Here's the big problem with Arizona's offense. Again, they ran the ball well. 100 yards is a bad defense. Kyler, only 142 and a touchdown. Kyler's body language is cancer. He has the worst body language ever. He's mopey. He's pouty on the sidelines. This is what I talked about when he had Cliff. His energy is just bad, man. It's bad, and you can't do that when you're a franchise quarterback. Cardinals defense is awful. Their offense has been really bad the last 2 weeks. I'm getting real concerned. I loved what I saw for them the first 2 weeks. But now it's like, oh man, this could spiral out of control if they don't get things figured out. Maybe Arizona just trades Kyler Murray for Anthony Richardson and they just try something else, the 2 former Eagle coordinators, because it's not working, man. Kyler's a good quarterback, but he's not a franchise quarterback. He's not a leader of men out there. He just, when he's riding high, he's great. When it's riding low, he's the worst to deal with. So bad for the Cardinals, awesome for the Commanders. I kind of like the Commanders to win this division, a la Houston Texans last year. All right, San Francisco takes care of New England, 30-13. I mean, what are we going to say? Like, Brock Purdy looked awesome. I like what I've seen from Brock Purdy a lot the last few weeks. Did throw a pick, but, you know, it happens. It happens. I've loved what I've seen from him. I think he's done a great job stepping it up. They're just going to run Jordan Mason into the ground. Another 123 carry day. Juwan Jennings stepping up as the number 1 receiver with Debo and the injuries. Debo was back this week, had an okay day. Ayuk, 2 catches in the first half, none in the second half. What's going on there? Kittle was back, had an awesome touchdown grab for Kittle. Absolutely right. But New England's bad. They're like the worst team. They're one of the worst 3 teams in the NFL. Brissett can't push the ball downfield at all. He's not mobile. He can't move. The offensive line is bad. They couldn't get the running game going again. I mean, Frisco's got good defense, but it really hasn't been that good this year. This is just a bad football team. I wonder when we're going to start to see Drake May. I want to see Drake May out there. Maybe he could help because he can move around, because I think, you know, there's moments where the Patriots could get these games into spots where they could potentially win. But just right now, they're awful offense, defense, everywhere. Okay, Chiefs take down the Chargers. Gritty performance from Justin Herbert, injured. Couldn't get it done, missing both his tackles. The defense was banked up. They couldn't run the ball whatsoever. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead after 2 Kansas City turnovers, and they just do nothing. Nothing for 3 quarters. Chiefs just kind of chip away. Big play to Xavier Worthy, get in the end zone. But I think the biggest news from this game is Patrick Mahomes takes out Rashee Rice, probably tears his ACL. That's what the early reports are. He's going to get an MRI to see officially, but it looks like he's lost for the season. Chiefs injury bug is just, this is why it's so hard to three-peat. It's just everybody's hurt on this team, but they're 4-0. They're 4-0. They got to win 6 more football games, get to 10-7. That'll probably win this division. And if you get Kansas City into the dance, Kansas City's a problem. They are the Chiefs. Kareem Hunt back in the action, 69 carries. Carson Steele fumbled on the first drive. We're never going to see him again. He's getting sent to the shadow realm. Travis Kelce, welcome back. 89 yards. Good for him. Want to see more Xavier Worthy. They're going to have to piece this together because this is just, bad. They're bad skill position group. Defense is going to have to carry them. The defensive unit has been good. They have a game wrecker in Chris Jones. Secondary is solid. The Chiefs are winning ugly. It's not pretty, but they're good in these kind of games, which is what you want to see. I don't know. It sucks that everybody's injured, but for everybody else in the NFL, feels like maybe it's wide open. Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs probably, but they are completely outmanned. Maybe they just like doing it for fun. Maybe Mahomes needs a challenge because it's gotten so boring for him. And finally, Baltimore smacks the Buffalo Bills at home on Sunday Night Football. And this was just a great Derrick Henry game. Kind of bad cosmic karma here that they didn't get Derrick Henry 200 yards, 24 for 199, had a touchdown, had also a receiving touchdown. Justice Hill had a couple of nice plays, had 78 yards, was their leading receiver. Lamar doing Lamar things, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground. This was just an all-around great performance. And the Ravens defense much improved, man. They were getting after Allen, making him roll out. They couldn't run the ball at all with James Cook. And the secondary covered guys. Guys were covered. It was all around a great sign for the Ravens. Bills, we kind of were worried about this run defense. They'd looked great the last 3 weeks, like maybe the best looking team in the NFL, but there were some questions about this defense in the middle. Obviously, they're super banged up. They're missing Matt Milano, and the Ravens exposed that hole. Just go right up the middle, run down the middle, throw passes over the middle. It's all there for them. Sometimes this just happens. I do want to see what we're going to get out of Buffalo moving forward. You do just have bad games against teams sometimes. Ravens, big win, big game against the Bengals. They can probably bury the Bengals season with another win against them, and they play them well. I'm not going to overreact to this game if I'm a Buffalo fan or a Ravens fan, but I like to see what I've seen the last 2 weeks from Baltimore. And Buffalo, sometimes these games do just happen. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What were your takeaways from this week 4 Sunday? What a great league we got going, season, whatever we want to say. It's been great so far. Bad offense the first 3 weeks, awesome this week. We got 2 games on Monday night, a stinker and probably a great game. Seattle and Detroit. I'm very interested to watch that game. But yeah, again, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't already, drop a quick like, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. If you want to catch one of these games live, check out SeatGeek.com. Use code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com, code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. Check out your favorite team live. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you all tomorrow.